flashing lights and cover pages. All these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Did you see me in the magazines? Tell me, what did you think of me? I'm a celebrity. Don't you know, yeah, I break all the rules, but I figure that's what stars are supposed to do. Just 'cause we're super cool. Don't you know, whatever time of day, be sure to find me in my designer shades. That's how I operate. Don't you know, if I had to do this all again, I wouldn't change anything. The ladies love me and the fans adore me. My super story is one with lots of money. When I become rich and famous, oh, these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Flashing lights and cover pages. Oh, these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. No more lining up outside the club, straight to the door, of course they remember me. I live in VIP. Don't you know, we got big fancy clothes. Paparazzi stalking me, 'cause the whole world knows this dude's about to blow. Don't you know, ain't got no need for game. Just say my name and all of the girls agree. They want a piece of me. Don't you know, if I had to do this all again, I wouldn't change anything. Ladies love me and the fans adore me. My super story is one with lots of money. When I become rich and famous, all these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Flashing lights and cover pages. All these faces will know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Mama, when your boy hammer, I go buy you Range Rover. La 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 la.
Good afternoon to you, dear listener out there. You're welcome to another edition of Business Diet on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate in the city of Ibadan. It's another Monday today, being November 17, 2025. You are on another edition of Business Diet with us. I am your dear friend on the radio, Akinwale Aboluwade. Well, I'm not here alone today. As usual, I have my official guest analyst, Mrs. Dolapo Olufunmelade. Mrs. Dolapo Olufunmelade, how are you today?
Good afternoon, my listeners. My good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Eniola. I hope I got the name right. All right. Olunike, good. Good afternoon to you as well. It's good to be here today again. Today, our 5 minutes might not be 5 minutes because we are starting rather late, but we'll be talking on the teachings of life today.
The teaching of life today. I want to say I'm very sorry from my voice. You will be able to determine what might have been responsible for our starting late today. But then I have the faith that everything will go on well. Good afternoon to you, Olunike Makide, our writer in the house. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Good afternoon to everyone that's listening. I hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome once again to Business Diets.
She just welcomed you to Business Diet. Well, without much ado, I would like to say that we're going to start as usual with the news, after which we are going to take the analysis. And I have my analysts here, Smokey, ready. Well, you are going to at least indulge me. This voice is cold and cough. Well, we cannot rule out the fact that it's going to sound funny to you, but please bear with us. Now, let us go to the news. First, the airlines. Dangote refutes viral claim of bike-based fuel distribution service. MDGIS to build 500 CNG refueling stations across Nigeria. Electricity workers threaten nationwide shutdown. Now the news in details. Dangote refutes viral claim of bike-based fuel distribution service. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has debunked a viral video suggesting it is partnering with a company to distribute petrol via dispatch riders. The company, in a statement on Sunday, said it has no affiliation with the content and is unaware of its source. The video, which circulated widely online on Sunday, shows a man seeking to avoid fuel queues, placing an order for petrol through a WhatsApp chat. A dispatch rider later arrives with a mini fuel dispenser attached to his motorcycle and proceeds to fuel the man's vehicle. The advert, branded as an initiative called Fuel Up, claimed this service was powered by Dangote Petroleum, while some social media users described the concept as innovative. Others raised safety concerns. Some commentators also speculated that the video may have been created with artificial intelligence. Dangote officials, however, dismissed the video as fake. The group chief communication officer, Anthony Chiejina, said the refinery had no connection to the purported service. Another official clarified that the refinery sells fuel only to bulk buyers and has not entered into any agreement with any company to distribute petrol using motorcycles. The clarification comes as the Dangote refinery continues to expand its operations. The company recently imported hundreds of compressed natural gas-powered trucks to support its direct fuel distribution scheme, which commenced in September. This development follows ongoing plans to increase the refinery's capacity from 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day. Located in the Lekki Free Trade Zone in Lagos, the refinery is one of the largest integrated refining complexes globally. The planned expansion is expected to boost domestic supply and strengthen Nigeria's position in Africa's energy market. MDGIF to build 500 CNG refueling stations across Nigeria. The Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund, MDGIF, has announced the conclusion of discussions with Chinese manufacturers Endurance Group to establish 500 compressed natural gas (NG) and CNG refueling stations across Nigeria over the next 3 years. Speaking in Abuja, the executive director of MDGIF, Aboluwade Adama, said the talks focused on the creation of a government-backed special purpose vehicle (SPV) to promote the MDGIF, the Bank of Industry (BOI), Endurance Group, and Secure Investment Partners. Adama said the partnership demonstrates the stakeholders' commitment to accelerating Nigeria's transition to cleaner energy by closing critical infrastructure gaps within the country's CNG value chain. He noted that the project would help reduce the long queues currently experienced at existing CNG stations by expanding access to refueling points and ensuring steady supply through enhanced logistics and distribution systems. Also speaking, Oluwatoyin Subar, Senior Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties and Domestic Affairs, said the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's vision on strengthening energy security by deepening the adoption of auto CNG and reducing the nation's dependence on petrol PMS and diesel AGO. According to him, the project supports the administration's broader economic reform aimed at promoting cleaner and more affordable energy options for Nigerians, while creating new jobs opportunities within the domestic gas sector. He added that CAM Infraco's leasing and logistic strategy is designed to help build a commercially viable and resilient national CNG refueling network. The strategy involves delivering CNG from strategically located mother stations into underserved northern corridors and fast-growing southern clusters, leveraging existing hubs and planned infrastructure to drive sustainable and cost-effective market expansion nationwide. Electricity workers threaten nationwide shutdown. Electricity supply may degenerate in the country as the National Union of Electricity Employees (NUEE) threatens a nationwide shutdown following an alleged attack on the staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) by armed police officers at Egbo 132/33 kV transmission station in Imo State. The union, in reaction to what it described as a brutal invasion, has already directed its members to halt power supply operation in Imo State until further notice. NUEE said the decision became necessary after workers on duties were allegedly beaten, held hostage at gunpoint, and some abducted by police officers said to be acting on the order of the state. The incident has ignited widespread outrage within the power sector, with the union warning that it would withdraw services nationwide unless authorities took immediate action to guarantee the safety and protection of electricity workers across the country. The police, said to be acting on behalf of the state, reportedly entered the substation control rooms by force, vandalizing equipment and disrupting operations. Workers on duty allegedly held at gunpoint, assaulted, while some were abducted to an undisclosed location. Before I end the business and economic news, here again are the headlines. Dangote refutes viral claims of bike-based fuel distribution service. MDGIF to build 500 CNG refueling stations across Nigeria. Electricity workers threaten nationwide shutdown. That ends the business and economic news on Business Diet. Well, dear listener in the house, we want to ask you to join us. We are inviting you to join us in the studio by contributing to the stories, contributing your reactions to the stories that we have here. If you have anything that is also relevant to the economy that you want to talk about, you are free to call us and hear your opinion, give your advice, and also maybe critique the policies that you are not really at home with. Well, if you want to do this, the numbers to call are 0916 893 1000. Another number 0915 334 893. And the last number 091 another 1 333 893. Well, we'd like you to join us in the studio. Call in and we shall hear you out. Now, good afternoon once again, Mrs. Dolapo Olufumelade and Olunike Makinde. These stories, Dangote refutes viral claim of bike-based fuel distribution service. First, Mrs. Olufumelade, looking through the story and hearing the news being read, what do you think about that report? How does it strike you?
First, like you said, Nigeria is fond of catching crews. That's just it's I think it's more of poverty causing it, because when people assume that there's poverty all over the place, so people are just looking for means to make money. I read that news. I had to read it over and over again to really digest it, and it's so obvious that they're just trying to catch a cruise. But I think it's high time people, agencies that are responsible for people that spread information that are false, I think they should be very active. I think when they make 2 or 3 people scapegoats, I think this thing will stop, because you just wake up one morning, you see yourself in the news and you cannot make head or tail of it. It's becoming so rampant. I was with a group of elites recently, and we're talking about this, and they were like, I think it's poverty related, and I said I couldn't even have agreed better. You understand? Because it is just purely poverty. Because a nation that is progressive, and all the needed rudiments are in place, will not stoop so low as in to be doing things like this. I'm happy that Dangote has debunked the news, because this is how you just pour a man that is building an empire. How can you even reason that they were using bikes? How? I mean, I took my time.
Dispatch riders.
Yes. How much can they carry? Even tankers can't even do anything. I mean, tankers are not even sufficient enough. It's true, because last week we were talking about electricity, that some electricity was trapped somewhere. Even tankers, they're not even adequate enough to do the supplies. That was why Dangote had to bring in 4,000 whatever. You're now saying bikes will do what? I mean, anyone reading that news, it's just he's joking. I read it over and over again. I just didn't want to. I had to understand, and I had to read it to the end, as in to really get the gist. So it's obvious that people are just chasing clout. You understand? It's so obvious. They're just chasing clout. So I think Nigerians should stop this. I think enough is enough. Enough of tarnishing people's image and tarnishing. Dangote is a respected person. I mean, how can you now reduce him to using bike to dispatch? Okay, let's even assume it's true. A bike guy cannot take more than 50 liters. So what is that? Okay, is it home delivery? I don't get the gist. I mean, I kept on reading that news. I mean, I'm wondering, is this how? So at the end of the day, I just told myself, it's what we discussed recently. It's people, just people catching crews. And like I'm saying again, I think these people, especially these bloggers, I think it's high time there is a law that prohibits them from doing this thing. Because when you use 2-3 people for scapegoat, I mean, they will sit up and stop this. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Well, Olunike, how do you react to that news? What are the things that you're looking at when going through that news?
Well, so actually, that's the problem with social media these days. And like you said earlier, people just love to catch cruise, especially when there's a serious situation in Nigeria. That's how, I mean, I'm sure you've seen some memes online about the so-called war, the old Donald Trump coming to Nigeria to fight the Muslims that are causing problems in the north, Boko Haram, sorry. So yes, Nigerians just love to catch cruise with serious situations. That's our thing. We tend to laugh at ourselves. And there is actually a law that prohibits spreading false news online. It's under the Cybercrime Law, Prohibition and Prevention, the Act of 2015 and the Criminal Code Act, specifically Section 24. It's not that there isn't a law to prevent it. It's just that it's not being implemented. And that's really the huge problem in Nigeria. The constitution it has its flaws, but it covers most of the bases. And if the police were actually doing their jobs properly, they wouldn't be posting stuff like this online. Because it's ridiculous, really, thinking that Dangote would be employing a dispatch company to distribute fuel. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, at what cost? Why did you do that? Why did you say that? Why did you spread such information? But ever since the monetization of certain apps like X, formerly Twitter, people just post anything they like, anything that they feel will attract attention to their profiles, would make them get more clicks. There's a lot of rage bait. I don't know if you know what rage bait is. Rage bait is when you post something that intentionally makes people angry so that they can click on your profile and express their dissatisfaction. So many people do this, especially on Twitter, X right now, formerly known as Twitter. Many people do this. They post stuff like this on Twitter so that people can go to their page. And once their page is getting a lot of attention, it gets a lot of ads, and then they get paid through that. So they don't care whether or not the news is real, as long as it gets people to click on it. But please, let's just stop doing that. You're spreading false information, and to what end? Because of money. I mean, money is important, but still, at what cost? If you keep holding on to money and the country keeps regressing, it's not progressing, then what's the point? Let's stop spreading false information, please.
What is the point if you are making money through wrong means and the country's image is being battered? This is not a banana republic. This is a country where there are rules and regulation, and that takes me to let me first, when Mrs. Olufemilade talked about linking this to poverty, my head was running riot. That how do you link this? But maybe because of time, she wasn't able to tie it. To untie it very well. But then, Olunike also talked about people wanting attention. They want more clicks. They want more followers so that they will be able to make money. So they don't care about what information they put up there. They just want the attention of people. They just want reactions so that they will make more money. And that now makes sense to me with your point, Mrs. Olufemilade, that poverty is also responsible for this. Then Olunike talked about the regulation, fake news. When you spread fake news, we've been hearing it that, okay, the federal government is bringing up some regulations against the spreading of...
Point of correction, the laws are out. They are out and they are being enforced, but it's just that people are not... Sorry, there is a crime law now for cyber bullying.
Yeah.
They are out and it's very scary.
Okay.
It's just that Nigeria, the Nigerian factor, they will not implement it.
That is why I said the government is trying to bring people to book. Okay, part of the process is lawmaking, and another one is calling it to the attention of the people, making it known to people that we have this law. After that, you don't just go to sleep, you implement, you go after defaulters.
Those that we implement it are equally guilty of it. So what are we saying here?
Those who we implement are guilty.
Yes, they're guilty of it, because the laws they were passed, I think, around, was it July, August? It was all over social media. It was very scary. If at a point I was like, I don't want to go on my phone, because let me not go and say something and I'll be. But I noticed that in a swift of time, everybody just passed.
It's just like a Jankara market where
it just passed. You know, so it occurred to me that those making the laws are equally guilty of it. So who is going to catch who now? That's why a lot of our agencies is porous. I mean, sorry to use that word. It's not really being our agencies. They take bribe. Once they are given money, they don't do their job the way it's supposed to be done. So that's the issue we're having in Nigeria. And I keep on saying it's poverty related. It has to be poverty, nothing else than that.
Well, I think at the end of the day, like I always say on this show, knowledge is power. A lot of people don't know that laws like this exist. So anyone can just go online and cyberbully anyone and just defame anybody. So if you know that there is a constitution, there's a law put in place that fights this situation, you should be able to report to a police or, the nearest authority.
All right. Dangote refutes viral claim of bike-based fuel distribution service. This claim it has no place in the first place, and it is reported that it is in a viral video suggesting that fuel is being distributed using dispatch riders. Wow. How do you use dispatch riders?
AI. It's called AI.
Yes, I'm going to that. How do you use dispatch riders? But you see that video. You see the video. You see some evidence showing that this is being done. And that is AI, and that is where I'm going to artificial intelligence.
That system, I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse.
Yeah.
I've seen AI crash a home.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
The
way they do it, even the voice. Now AI can clone a voice.
Yeah,
is that bad? I've seen AI call a man that the wife needed money, and it was not the wife. They cloned her number, cloned her voice through AI. They were able to establish it. But later, with the help of good experts, they were able to swift through, and they found out it was just AI. So AI is doing a lot. So all those pictures flying on social media is just generated by AI. But I have Gen Zs, and at times my kids say, Mommy, I say, how do you know? They say, Mommy, look at this. Look at how can something be going up and nobody is reacting? So at times when you see pictures and videos, pay attention to the details. There was a video circulating, I think last month, of a pastor doing a deliverance for a spider woman. So my daughter said, this is AI. I said, how do you know it's AI? She said, okay, Mommy, look at this. There's a crowd and somebody is climbing the stairs and nobody is responding. He said, can't you see it's AI generated? So I started paying attention to the details. I looked at the pastor. The pastor was, doing all the and the girl was climbing up, and I looked, and the audience, they were not even looking that way. So I said, okay, so these are the things I should look out for. So it's just like when they said a whale killed the expert, the trainer. It was all AI. There's no truth. The lady is alive. So that is how bad this thing is. They just wake up one morning, create with the help of AI. I mean, I've seen AI destroy a home. I've seen AI make a woman look like a liar. You understand? Because someone cloned her voice, and they assumed that she was trying to get money from the husband. Eventually, with the help of experts, because some experts, they know how to deduce it with their expertise. And they found out that it was just AI stuff. So this AI thing, may God have mercy.
Artificial intelligence is a two-edged sword. is a two-edged sword that has the good side and the bad side. But why are some Nigerians like this? Oh no! If you have technology, knowledge of technology in a particular area, why don't you use it positively rather than use it negatively? If you use it positively, you can as well draw attention. So, this is not an AI class, but after the show, I will tell Mrs. Olufumilade how you can identify AI-generated pictures, AI-generated videos.
That would be lovely, sir.
It will be too synthetic. There is a way human beings move, but when there is movement on AI-generated video, it will be too synthetic. It will be too smooth. It will be too smooth to look real.
Come to think, I did an AI course and I still can't differentiate the different. Can you imagine?
Maybe.
Come to think, I did all the cookies and all the. I'm trying to remember the class again.
Mrs. Olufumilade,
all the descents and everything.
You have your hand in many pies.
Things. Yes.
So
Jack of all trade, master of all.
Maybe you did not pay attention to that. Well, we want to urge the cybersecurity sections, the security operatives to also be up and active, so that at least these people will not just have a field day having perpetrated evil. You told us that you've seen AI crashing the home.
Yes, it crashed our home.
Do you know that AI can crash, can even lead a country into war? If care,
like the present situation we're having now.
If care is not taken, so there should be a regulation to everything. Well, now let's go to the next news item. MDGIF to build 500 CNG refueling stations across Nigeria. The first paragraph of that story reads, the Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund, MDGIF, has announced the conclusion of discussions with Chinese manufacturers Endurance Group to establish 500 compressed natural gas CNG refueling stations across Nigeria over the next 3 years. How does this news strike you?
It's a welcome development, actually, and it's been long overdue, because we have been a major crude oil producer, and we have gas as one of our what we refine from crude oil. I think it's been long overdue. So it's a welcome development. You know, there was a time I worked in an oil and gas company straight after NYSC, and I remember then that I didn't know the difference between upstream and downstream.
All right.
You understand? So there was a time we had to go to AGIP, you know. So when I was in the office, you know, as in I was just straight from NYC. I mean, I'm learning. You understand? So my boss told me that, look, we are in their downstream. I said, please, sir. After we left, I said, please, I don't understand. He said, look, downstream are like the petrol stations, you know, the outlets. They say, and they have a diesel, gas, you know, all those things, even a engine oil and all the lubricants. They are the downstreams. So yes, CNG is on the downstream, and I think even most of our big crude oil producers should divert into downstream, because they have the capacity more than even the those that are really doing it. You understand? People like Chevron, people like Mobil. Mobil does not have a filling station. Okay, sorry. Mobil has a filling station, but Chevron does not have a filling station. Ajip has a filling station. I can name some big. Pan Ocean does not have a downstream, as in for gas. So this development is a welcome one. Number one, right now in Nigeria, we need gas for a lot of things. Yes. Even our electricity is now being fueled with gas. I hope you're aware of that. You know, so it's been fueled with gas. So we need a lot of it in excess. I hope you understand. Mm-hmm. We need a lot of it in excess. Gas, So it's a welcome development. I wouldn't want to say too much on it. So it's a thumbs up, and I'm happy that the president is in partnership with China on this, you understand, to make it a reality. So yes, it's been long overdue. It's been long overdue. Nigeria is trying to see how they can convert our cars to CNG, you understand? So yes, it's a welcome development. It's been long overdue. America is already using electric cars,
yes.
And we are still backwards, still completely dependent on fuel. You understand? So yes, let's take it to CNG. Then maybe from there we move to electric cars. I was watching a documentary yesterday, and I told my daughter, I said, Nigeria, we are still miles away. I told her, I said, how can Nigeria still be like this? And I said, yes, the issue is corruption. I looked at Dubai. I've been to Dubai. And I looked at Dubai. I was like, God, Dubai is wonderful. And they don't have anything. It's like a desert. It's just like Israel. I've been to Israel. It's just like a desert. You understand? And one thing I see with Dubai is that they are making use of their intellectuals. You understand? They don't have anything. They don't have fuel. They don't even have 1/10 of what we have. But that nation has good management. You understand? The little, and they make use of their manpower to do a lot of things. So yes, going back to the news, it's a welcome development. I pray we can sustain it. I'm happy that our government is in partnership with those that know road, like our slogan here in Nigeria. And I pray that this project will not be hijacked. I pray that the project will not be hijacked, or corruption will not take its place again.
Well, Olunike, before we take you, thank you, Mrs. Olufmilade, for enlightening us about the upstream and the downstream sector. In the petroleum industry, as she said, the upstream refers to the sector that focuses exploration, production, and while the downstream is that sector that focuses the refining, the distribution, and all that. That is a tutorial. Thank you for that. I hope you are not going to charge me for that at the end of the program. Well, Olunike, what do you have to say regarding this news? MDGIF to build 500 CNG refueling stations across Nigeria.
Okay, like she said earlier, it's definitely a welcome development. It's good. Yes, a lot of other developed countries are using electric cars right now, but we have to crawl before we walk and walk before we run. So everything is one step at a time, and this is a good thing. It should have been done way before now, but well, we thank God that they're at least doing this, especially because so many things are powered by gas these days. I've even seen some generators that have been converted to use gas as well. So people are slowly leaning towards gas and leaning away from petrol. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because petrol is so costly now.
Yeah.
So yes, it's definitely a welcome development, and we hope that they stay true to their word and it benefits the people in the long run.
Thank you. You did talk about there should be a process, really, and we agree with that. What you said brought my mind to the situation that we have at our refineries. In those days, traveling to Port Harcourt, you will see this fire, gas flaring. For so many years, Nigeria was wasting the gas from the crude. Nigeria was burning it off from the crude, while the developed countries, they have gas piped into houses, they have gas into companies being used there.
Even homes.
Into homes, that is why, into homes. But
the chimney, the chimney stuff.
That chimney.
Yeah, it's been
you see that fire, and it will not quench.
Yeah.
Yes, fires will be burning quenching, but we thank God that we are gliding from a point to another. We cannot, like she said, well, there should be a process to development. Before you walk, you crawl. Nigeria was born. It at some point it was not even crawling, but we thank God that we are crawling now. Mrs. Olufmilade, like you always say, that at least in this government you see some readiness to do certain things. They are showing the readiness, but then it is the way they are going about it that you are not really satisfied with.
Yeah, it's always easier to say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but actually seeing the results is where the issue is.
In
and
Nigeria.
we hope that we get to see the result of what they said they are going to do.
And this still boils down to the time we talked about the last story. The last story. We're talking about fake news. We're talking about rules, the laws that are made against
the fake news.
Those who default.
Yes.
Okay? We talked about implementation, bad implementation. Now,
It's corrupt. The implementation process is
corrupted.
corrupt.
Okay? Now, just as we have in this case too, implementation is the problem.
I pray it's sustained, because it's really a welcome development. Like I said, it's been long overdue. Very long overdue.
So we just want the authorities to pay attention to that. Rather than talk and talk, let us also implement the policies for the good of our country. Now, the last story, we are going to take it quickly because I want us to have a full 5 minutes on that section. Electricity workers threaten nationwide shutdown. A short one on that.
You know, in this country, there's a lot of jungle justice. I read that news and I said, okay, they've done jungle justice, but to be candid, at times, when you take light away from people for weeks, months, the moment they see one NEPA official like this, they will roast him alive. You know, it's smoky.
It's just like what happened with ShopRite back then. The way they set it on fire.
Yes. So I think I'm not defending what they did, but you know, it happened in an area I lived in Lagos many years ago. In fact, to be very precise, you know, there was a day, I think we had issues with the light for a long time. So one day, and they have been going to make complaints until it was done. So one day, a NEPA official came to drop down the wires. There is no light. People have been going to make complaints, no response. One day, you now say they've not paid electricity, but you are coming to drop. At the last I heard that man died because they dragged him on the streets with his skin peeling off. And nobody was held liable. It was a big case. You know, Friday is a very, though I heard there's a lot of sanity now. Unfortunately, we built a house there. We sold the house, actually. You know, so I can imagine that's this man. And the last I checked, I heard the man didn't survive. So people vested their anger and said, you come to drop pole, which lights? You know, so it's not as if I support jungle justice, but I think what the masses are crying for, please let those in authority pay attention to it. You understand? Some areas, even in Ibadan now, don't have lights. You understand? And they're not doing anything about it. When you cite a NEPA official, I mean, it's just, I'm not supporting it, but you know, our tolerance level is not the same. and someone that, or a group of persons that cannot contain themselves might, do abominable things. So, yes, I don't support what they've done as in jungle justice, but please, I think the issue now should be, why are the people beating up the person? So let those things be tackled. I think that is just the news there. A normal human being that is sane will not just beat up an official. So those things that is, I'm not supporting it, but the reason for the anger vestation should be looked into, and let what should be done.
Olunike.
Well, like she said, there's a reason for everything, and they are saying they want to strike because of what happened. I understand their anger, but it's not going to do anything though. You're just suffering the masses, the people, the innocent people that didn't do anything to you. You want to suffer the masses because of what a few people did to you. That doesn't make any sense. You should rather face the people that are in charge, like the government. The people that are striking, they're not going to feel it. They have solar inverters in their houses. The rich are not going to feel your so-called strike. So please solve the major issue at hand before you decide you want to strike. I understand that it's hurtful, but rather talk to the police. The police should do something about it instead of striking. It just doesn't make any sense. I understand their pain, but this is not the solution. It's just going to affect innocent people, and the people that are supposed to listen to your plight and get you justice, they're sitting down in their homes, eating, chilling with their solar inverters. So yeah.
Well, that is a piece of advice. Well, there is no justification for jungle justice. And to imagine the police besieging a facility and attacking, some abducted by police officers said to be acting on the orders of the state. Well, that is not, that really is a bad pill. That is a bad pill in the mouth. Let us take a thought. Well, Nigeria, we have so many things that we are not really satisfied with, but then when to build Rome, it takes a process. Rome was not built in a day. To put things right, we have to go through the right process, not by taking the law into our hands. Well, it is on this note that we are going to draw the curtain on analysis. Mrs. Olufumilade, what do you have for us this afternoon?
Good afternoon, my listeners. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I'm an educationist, so I believe that we keep learning. No one knows it all. It's until we leave planet Earth that the process of learning stops. So yes, I'm back to school. I think the week before the last, we talked on mindset. I hope we're still leveraging on it, knowing that negative mindset is a barrier, a wall that does not allow you to listen to the voice of reason, while positive mindsets are welcoming, they are productive, they are, it takes you to heights and levels of improvement. Today, we're going to be looking at something that is common with all of us, the teachings of life. I don't even know how the whatever just dropped. Well, life, they say, is a teacher. That's what we've been made to know. Life is a teacher. And in life, early in life, there was something I learned very early in life. I don't know is not an excuse in the book of life, because even what you don't know can affect you. You understand? So in life, we keep learning. We keep improving ourselves. And Yoruba, we say, ayenika. That's a strong word. You understand? It's very strong and very heavy. So in life, we keep learning. We have to keep improving ourselves. You understand? There are some little details that we even our children, we should teach them to understand the realities of life early enough so that they can confirm. You understand? Because when a person is ignorant, life is about learning. That's just the truth. And in life, you learn, you are taught, lessons are learned. You understand? And then you can develop yourself, you can build yourself, you can make yourself, very attractive. You understand? But when you are devoid of knowledge in life, it's a big issue. And I've discovered that even in governance, some of our leaders will say, we are sorry we did this. I ask myself, so does it mean that you're sorry means that, you didn't know any better then, or you did not do the right thing? You understand? At times, yes, the apologies are really in line, because every government, the incumbent government now is still learning. They are making mistakes. People are complaining. They are trying to fall in line. Even in homes, these things happen. You understand? Maybe let's look at an example of a dysfunctional home. It could mean that, the parents are not well, they're not well kitted to be able to run their relationships so it does not affect their kids. You understand? Or even in school. A management of a school might not be well informed because they lack, like I always say, an educated person is not a person that has gone to school. People will tell me it's not true. An educated person is a person that has skills, that has attitude, that has knowledge, that is well-rounded. It's not all about book. There is the cognitive part of life that is acquiring knowledge. But when you want to be a well-rounded person in life, you should be well comported. You should have skills. You should have attitude, character development. It's so important. So these are the things that will make us to go through life, in a way that, yes, we are not ruffled. We are not. Okay, let me say we are not left behind when the moving train is going. So today I want to leave us with that life is a teacher. Life is all about being taught, learning, growing. There are rooms to make mistakes. There are rooms to correct them. And there are rooms to showcase that you've been corrected. Then you go in the right perspective. So I'll be leaving us with this today. I want us to have a very lovely week ahead. Monday is always the first working day of the week. So I'm leaving us with life is a teacher today. And I hope that we can all leverage on it. Thank you.
Life is a teacher. Life is a teacher. Well. I just want a situation where we keep learning from this. It is a lot, and it will help us as we get along in life. Yes, I want to say a thank you to you, Mrs. Dolatbo Olufmilade, for your input, and Olunike Makinde. I want to say a big thank you. The engineering crew, I want to say a big thank you for managing this situation despite this croaky and voice of mine. I thank you for using your knowledge to make it at least a bit better. Until next week when we meet on another edition of Business Diet, I want to say thank you to my producer, Toluwaleke Adli, and the management of Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Thank you. I remain your dear friend on the radio, Akinwale Aboluwade. Cheers.
Know who I am, 'cause I'll be a superstar. Flashing